Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday. It is March 24th and I am excited to have you here with us today. We are checking out careers in pharmacy today. I've got a great video. This is a really amazing story about from a pharmacist. You guys know this. This comes to us from our partners, the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. This particular video comes from a faculty member from the University of Minnesota College of Pharmacy, and she's going to tell you a quick story, and then we've got a live Q&A today as well. So as soon as our video is done, we'll get Dr. Steinkopf up here and we're going to do some questions. We're answering your questions today. If you've got them, put them in the Q&A or put them in the chat. We'll get those into the broadcast today. If you're listening to us in the on-demand format, as I know many of you are, it's not too late to get your questions in as well. You can email Health Professions Week. I'm Mandy, we've met. You can email me your questions, and if I can't answer it, I will get it to our partners at AACP. I will get it to Miranda, who's going to do our Q&A today, and we'll get your questions answered. So, okay, with all of that, I am going to roll this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and then we'll be back in just a minute to answer your questions.
My favorite patient care stories is about a patient. She's 69 years old. I'll refer to her as Barb. So Barb was referred to me by her primary care team because Barb wasn't showing up to clinic appointments. And she had a history of diabetes, hypertension, COPD. When she did come in, her blood pressure, her blood sugars were sky high. And they just weren't getting anywhere in the clinic. And she wasn't coming into clinic. So they thought that she might be a good candidate for a home visit. So when I visited Barb, we discovered so much. We discovered that one of the reasons she wasn't coming into clinic is because she had lost her apartment and was hopping around from family members' homes to family members' homes, trying to find a place to live. She didn't have money for food, so she was scared to take her medication because oftentimes they made her sick. She wasn't able to take them with food. So in our first home visit, we were able to kind of get a bigger picture of what was going on. And we connected her with the clinic social worker. I worked with her primary care provider to streamline her medications, to make things less complicated. And especially because she didn't have consistent access to food, we were able to change some of her diabetes medicines so she wouldn't be at such risk of low blood sugar. And so fast forward many, many months, I still see her. If she has stable housing, she's engaged to be married, I've had a chance to meet her children.
All right, everybody. And again, just to reiterate, if you'd like to hear some more stories, this comes from the HPW YouTube playlist, Pharmacy. You can find not only this video there, but a couple of others from, again, our partners at AACP. And right now, everybody, I am just really thrilled to welcome Dr. Miranda Steinkopf with us. She is currently a fellow at the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. And so my first question is, Dr. Steinkopf, tell us a little bit about your educational pathway. What does it mean to be a fellow and to be a pharmacist? And what does that all mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here today, first of all. I just want to start off by saying I love being a pharmacist and I am very proud to talk about it. So a little bit about my background and how I got here. I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh School of Pharmacy in 2019. And then after that, I decided to do 2 years of residency, which is really focused on some clinical training. And I did that out in Portland, Oregon. And after that, I realized that I was really interested in teaching and the power of what pharmacists could do as educators and in helping students and in helping patients ultimately. And so that's how I ended up at the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy as the Academic Leadership and Education Fellow, which I'm here now in a 2-year role to do that. And I think broadly about, what it means to be a pharmacist. And I think it's often just so much more than people realize that it is. And it's really all about how can we as pharmacists optimize patients' medications and help their overall health, which is what I think we saw in the video. It's not just about the medications, that's a piece of it, but we're really looking at how can we make a difference in patients' lives by improving their health as a full person. And that's really what drew me to this, because I really think you can make a meaningful impact on people through this career path.
That is awesome, and such a unique pathway. You know, I love unique stories, you guys, and I think this is a really cool example of not a pharmacist working at what we would think of as kind of that traditional retail pharmacy job. So, Dr. Steinkopf, where else do pharmacists work besides in academia and that kind of retail model and in hospitals? What are the other places that we would find pharmacists?
Well, you know, I really like this question because I too really like unique stories and unique pathways. And it's not only in a community pharmacy where patients are dispensing, or where pharmacists are dispensing medications to patients. There's so many other places that pharmacists can work. Some of the most common places are those community pharmacies, but there's also hospital settings where patients work, where pharmacists work, and clinic offices where you work really closely with doctors, nurses, all different members of the care team. And that's really, though, just the tip of the iceberg in terms of opportunities in my mind. Pharmacists also work in government jobs, in national or state organizations like I do at AACP. They can work at digital health companies, in the lab. I mean, the list goes on and on. I could probably talk for another few minutes about it, but you get the idea that, you know, you can really get a very unique experience as a pharmacist and sort of go in whatever direction you want.
That's cool. Are there opportunities to specialize for specific patient populations in pharmacy?
Absolutely. And I think one of the ways that you can choose that specialization is during school. There's a lot of times that there's often different tracks that you can take. And often they kind of line up with either what setting you want to be in. Do you want to be in a clinic, a community pharmacy, or in a hospital pharmacy? Those are different tracks. And then you can also think about what type of patient you want to take care of in terms of what kind of diseases they have. Do they have diabetes or chronic diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes? Or do you want to focus on more acute diseases, things that we talk about in terms of like strep throat, if you have an infection, if something's going wrong in the moment that just needs a quick fix? Those are all different ways that you can focus on different patient populations. That starts in school, and then you can do a specialized residency in those areas, and then do even more training after that, depending on where you end up working. And I think there's, you know, even within that, something I'm really passionate about is taking care of underserved patients, which we kind of categorize that as patients who don't maybe have all the resources that other people do. And I'm really passionate about that because I think health equity is so important, and pharmacists can have a huge impact on that and make a big difference in individual patients' lives and in whole communities' lives in that way.
That is so important, and it's actually something that if you've been hanging out with SpringHPW, we've been talking a lot about this week with some of our Wednesday webinars, our panel tonight. So that's awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. It's so important. So when did you know you wanted to be a pharmacist?
Yeah, so I mean, choosing career is so difficult. I say that to everybody. It's just hard to decide what path you're going to go down. And the thing that was really instigated my interest in this was one of my best friends in high school. Her dad was a pharmacist, and I thought that what he did was really cool. But once I started to look into it more, I really saw, and it inspired me, how much opportunity there was to connect with patients and with people in a really meaningful way as a pharmacist, and to be accessible to people, to be in their communities, really seeing the way that they live and work and helping them in that way. And I also saw a connection between a lot of the volunteer work that I had done in school while I was in high school. And I just wanted to continue to serve people in that way. And I saw pharmacy as the natural trajectory to continue that service moving forward.
I love it. Okay, so if you're talking to the high school junior or the high school senior who's listening in right now, and they're trying to do I'm interested, I hear things that get me excited and I want to learn more. How does somebody start exploring in pharmacy and learning more about the career?
Absolutely. So coming from AACP, the American Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, we work with all of the schools and colleges of pharmacy across the country, and there's 143 of them. So chances are there's one near you, and I would just encourage you to reach out to those schools and colleges of pharmacy across the country. There are dedicated people that I'm sure you can find easily online who will help you get more information about being a pharmacist, but also what it means to be a pharmacy student in their program, which I think can just be really eye-opening because every program has a little bit of a different focus and you want to find the one that fits best for you. So researching those online, finding what they have available is great. Also through AACP at aacp.org, we have a student center that I would definitely direct people to. And that has resources like the Pharmacy is Right for Me program, where we talk all about how students can get involved in this, a pharmacy school locator, and many other things. So I think that's a really good place to start.
And those are all, for our live audience, those are all attached handouts that you can grab right now before you leave. If you're watching us in the online, I know they're not available to you in the on-demand. Shoot me an email. I'll get you the handouts that you guys need so that you can absolutely start looking into, you know, those checklists, etc. One more plug for HPW. We also have our scavenger hunt. Pharmacy is on our track this week, so you can absolutely check out pharmacy careers on explorehealthcareers.org, and that has some great resources too. So I don't see any questions coming in from our live audience, but if we get any in the on-demand afterwards, I will definitely shoot those to you so that you can answer those. So I just want to say thank you one more time for coming and hanging out with us for a few minutes. I'm loving these short little, you know, talks. I think it's fantastic. I hope our audience is enjoying them as well. Thank you, Dr. Steinkopf, and I appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right. We'll see everybody right back here tonight at 7 o'clock for the live panel, Current Students, Social Justice in Action. We're going to hear from some amazing current students, including a pharmacy student. So if you're interested in pharmacy, check it out tonight. There's lots going on today. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you.